It's going to be a banger game one.
It's going to be aggressive right off of the rip. XCG and OUG both going to be fighting it out. As Yu looks to try and grab a weapon. Already picks up a fan, which is absolutely huge this early on. But XG, however, wanting to get Fireflies. And they've already got Kakaishi's Hardy ultimate online. JL get the first blood, but XG might be able to find a full cleanup, as it is going to be this Hardy coming on through. Gray-scaled damage, but the triple charge, the golden focus right coming on through, and the spacing that Kakaishi is buying for his team to set up the pulse on scale rush follow through is something that OUG are just not prepared for. It's going to be the Tumult having to utilize the combo breaker on the F, but all you're going to do is just prolong the inevitable as SS falls. 3 kills picked up incredibly early on for XCG as GG start coming in for that timing attack. Yeah, they got yellow loot area, which means that they got access to not only Fireflies, but also that potential loot disparity coming on through. First F3 leads up into that engagement, trying to put pressure onto Zhaonan. CJS are going to be using the V2 activation to get another F3 and keep the chase up, as we still haven't seen the Matari ultimate come through. It was only the Zai who got access to it, as it is going to now be CJS trying to find the opening. Has that full charge up of the attack, but the Yushin ultimate coming up for doing such a good job of forcing the Zai away, as the Hardy interruption makes sure that GG are not able to find an isolation. Ferrier V3 mech now called in, and GG staved off of the kill. Cannonball composition managing to prolong and sustain the fight outside of the ultimate burst window now. Xiphon loses all of its teeth, and XCG do lose Kakaishi off of the Hardy, going a little bit too aggressively forward away from the rest of the team, and that might be the turnaround that GG desperately needed. Silence comes on through from the Farrier into CJS, as it should just be, off of the parry, follow-up damage. Zhaonan will fall, and it took a little bit of time, but GG will eventually be able to clean up.
And there was a lot of transforms there from XCG, though, so that is obviously always going to slow down GG's fight. They had to kind of stagger that fight. They came off pretty strong, forcing them out, getting one member very, very low, and able to force them away and slowly bait out the ultimates until they felt comfortable to finish up those kills. So GG coming in strong, 3 kills under their belt, taking down XCG. Exactly what we expected to see from them, as Bowder now sniffing around in the area. GG not really going to have those ultimates up and available, where Bowder are ready to go. 3-3-0's getting engaged onto immediately. So just seeing him avoid and evade getting caught away, but the double slam comes in from CJS with the F. The Bane Breath has been called in though, but the ultimate has been used. Yaran already losing a lot of HP, forced to pop the ultimate, trying to get some damage down, but with Peak losing his life, this is getting really hairy. GG though are fighting inside this Bane's Breath. Peak trying to get picked back up by Jing. Looks like with the Bane's Breath, GG will be forced away. Bowder able to save the day, but that third party, that little surprise attack from them, unfortunately, did not pay off at all.
They'll live it, though, because of that Karumi F3 as heading over. Wolves have been able to pick off-screen 3 kills and are looking to extend that lead. XTM, unfortunately, not going to be able to find that F connection. Wu Chen teleport comes on through now from Wolves, since they've given up both the Viper ultimate as well. And JDG now can start trying to just push on to Wolves' retreat. Sutik going to have that V2 ready to take the engagement. They know that Wolves can't back off. However, it looks like JDG decide to prioritize loot popping instead of chasing after Wolves. They get too far away with the Wu Chen teleport. They're not able to use the F3 on the Zai to catch onto one of the players early. And as a result, it goes for the long con instead as DRG. We get to see that V2 coming on through for WFC. Fire Tick catching onto Baige. And you see that confirmed kill. That time is so low as WFC with the F3 utilizes it. Breaks line of sight away from the Viper ultimate. And DRG now get to turn back into the fight. 2 versus 3. It's simply clean up. And DRG pick up another couple of kills, putting themselves onto 3. And Jake, we said it was going to be an aggressive start. We said it was going to be a bloodthirsty lobby. All of these kills are getting allocated, however, to so many different teams. It's so nail-bitingly close. No one is currently pulling ahead because everybody has been taking all of these different hot drop fights in 3 versus 3s instead of getting third-partied.
Yeah, it has been, because it's so spread out, the fight's been sporadic. There's not been too many third parties coming through, so a lot of kills getting scored across the board. GG leading the charge with 4, but they have got themselves WBG closed in on that. But GG, who started in 8th today, have already jumped up into 5th place, so very, very solid start for them considering how low on the standings they were for the beginning of the day. We are going to see a replay of this WBG TE fight. Sleepwalker, just a fantastic jump down with the ult. Stunning 4. Absolutely brutal. WBG. That's the WBG I remember. That was absolutely beautiful. They did get taken out, as you can see, currently running around in spirit form. So looking to find themselves a place to revive. But really, really nice there from GG. Huge Viper ult.
Yeah, that's traditional Viper ult play as well. Remember when all of the Vipers used the V1, and whenever we got trees in endgame, all of the Vipers would just climb up the tree, charge up the V1, and then drop down onto so many unsuspecting heads. And the entire lobby, it was like someone got a TV remote and just pressed pause. 16 teams all frozen out in that 5-second stagger window. Unfortunately, it is a huge commitment, and the Viper is only able to help out the rest of the team after the stun duration has ended, unlike the V3. And as a result, the time to actually confirm into kills relies a lot of the time off of Tessa ultimate follow-up as well to extend the 5-second stun into 8 seconds, which means 2 ultimates have to be committed, and the third party is almost inevitably going to punish you, which is probably why after that amazing Viper V1, WBG ended up losing the next fight that they took, as a lot of the aggression has slowly simmered down as all of these teams now prioritize getting into a position to be able to take this realm of Yang, having that Vermilion Birdsmite as well as having that immediate loot upgrade. With all of these Zai compositions, every single one of these teams want to be the one that starts pulling ahead in terms of that loot, getting one of those weapons to have the more damage on that Zai ultimate. As DRG going to be dropping a Bane's Breath onto one of those entrances, trying to isolate the fight against Wolves. Charged R&B on that fan comes through. DRG having to take a little bit of downtime interacting with the Soul, and after that Tessa provide the V1. And Wolves Zedka unfortunately does get grapple connected onto by WFC. The Zai gets to set up the F3 into the V2, and DRG force Wolves into using the teleport. The question is, did DRG see where they teleported to? Looks like they did not, and now they have to be careful that JL don't push into their backs as Wolves teleported into the corruption took damage to fully break line of sight. They go into Shipwreck, and JL sitting inside that purple invisibility bush, drawn by the AoE map marker of the Bane's Breath, knew a fight was going down, thought about potentially taking the third party, but DRG, having already disengaged, not chasing heavily after Wolves, are not going to be in a position where JL can easily jump on top of them.
Yeah, it looks to me like DRG are setting up for this realm of Yang. Bowder also getting himself positioned for this one. Not massively geared up, but you don't expect every team at the beginning to be overly geared up for these realm of Yang. So we're going to see Bowder actually just playing kind of gatekeep at the moment. I'm not sure if they're ready to go in. Obviously, like you said, it's those who go in first are always the ones who are most eager and the most geared. It's GG knowing this, fully purple armored, fully purple weapon. Oh no, not fully purple weapon, but purple armored.
Oh, that's blistering.
Playing it safe. Blistering, like you said as well.
Yeah,
GG,
they've got blistering. They have 3 ways of applying fire tick damage. As a KLA with the Sand Siphon Kurumi variant.
Wait,
look to see whether or not they're going to get challenged. Both of the teams walk into the portal at the same time, and they will meet each other amongst the gates. QGG has already got a legendary soldier. I don't know which one it is. Potentially Merciless Havoc with a... Actually, no, that's the spear instead of the staff, so maybe it's going to be Heartstoppers. As CJS charges up those nunchucks, comes in with the F3, immediately trying to apply that fire tick. Tumult F combo breaker now is invested as CJS gets a charge in with that V2. The next F3 to reposition outside of the Tumult ultimate, as we're going to see the Kurumi V2 start to come through, trying to find the buffer until all of these ultimates have been taken off of the board. Another F3 comes into play for CGS, hasn't used it just yet off of the activation of that Matari V3. So far, no one's gone down. The Kurumi Tether on the Sand Siphon composition, making it that everybody can tank through the full burst duration of CGS's ultimate. And when we go into neutral, that's when Sand Siphon is really able to start overpowering the Siphon composition. Kurumi caught out of position, gets locked onto by the Zai. However, QGG on the to Kayla, gets into position to be able to peel and make sure that his support is going to stay standing. Charges up, tries to come on through, gets the grab to connect onto LXM, doesn't time the parry to stop the charged R&B on that fan. However, Kayla have been able to take down 2 versus 1 against the Zyphon composition in the neutral before turning it into a 3 versus 1 and are able to win it out. And you can see how impactful, how important it is that the Kurumi is used in all of these compositions, because if it was a Z-ping, KLA would have been smoked to a crisp.
Yeah, there was also a couple of missed Fs there from our Zai, so unfortunately not really going to be able to get that damage out from them. GG do go down, KLA pull out the win. We actually saw Wolves get eliminated. So first team out, first place in the lobby, first team out, Wolves taken down. Don't know what happened there, but that is then Dunzo in this game number 1. Everyone else playing very, very aggressive. We do have 3 teams with the Rama Yang debuff on them, so they're going to be eagerly looking around for a fight. And the teams with the Vermilions, Birds Might themselves, going to also be pretty eager to take those fights while they've got that get out of jail card, can trim the lobby down, grab themselves some good loot, and then just reset off the back of it. No real problems at all. OUG just going to head over and do a little bit of shopping before they go in for a fight. XCG are in the area, so it looks like Vermilion Birds Might team versus Vermilion Birds Might team going to be going toe-to-toe here. SS has been spotted out by NiHQ, already lost a lot of armor, kind of got caught on his lonesome. OUG, SS going very, very low. Kakaishi's popped the ultimate. He's going to be looking to get some damage down off the back of this one. Just lining up the shots, lining up onto the members. Dashes with that first charge of the F through. The King is going to eat a massive chunk of damage, lose most of his armor. There goes another massive charge of damage coming through. We can see the transform coming out from Xiaonan as well as Kakaishi repositions himself up onto the high ground now. Jumping down as SS on the run, breaking away the fan, the golden fan from Kakaishi, doing oh so much work, but I don't think anybody's gone down quite yet. It does look like it's getting a little bit warm here from the side of OUG. SS is going to lose his life as he's going to be forced to use the rebirth. Coming out the King, getting absolutely melted by the golden fan. And now you, the final man standing, XCG, picking it off with absolute style. A huge game 1 for them already, as they're going to close this out with their 9th kill. A massive, massive lead here for the side of XCG.
It's so clean. Kakaishi just taking full advantage of the openings that the Farrier V3 sets up so that you can come in with that charged vertical on the fan. Legendary damage, absolutely shredding. It comes out so quickly. And if you get hit by that, it scoops you in. So it means that the players aren't able to dodge out of the Farrier cannon shot follow-up. And you just see that those players disappear in the blink of an eye. As so Bauta were in the area, could potentially look for that third party and challenge, especially since Sensei and composition do have to all in a lot of those ultimates. Cannonball as well do struggle against those third-party situations. As unfortunately, WBG looking like they're struggling too. Baige gets caught out by that Tessa V1, has to utilize the F1 to try and break away. Now Pro's out a Tessa V1 of their own, but the enchantment window has already procced. JL, all of them got caught by the Tessa snap, but it is not enough. The 3-second hits Baige before he can capitalize, and JL 3 against 1 Tessa. She is gone, kicked out of the lobby. But JL still, I believe, having a couple of players hit with Yang depletion. It was not a full 3 kill. It was not a team wipe. And as a result, they still need to look for some of these kills to cleanse their Viper. As we can have a look and see, GG landed on their feet, were able to recover, took a fight, managed to find the Soul Blooms, and put themselves onto 7 kills, as well as extending their existence inside this lobby without having to overplay their hands and play far too aggressively, which is going to get massively punished by all of these teams in the lobbies. We can have a look and see TE, unfortunately, the only Transformers team in the lobby, having to play it incredibly slowly, not getting to go into these Realm of Yangs because of all of the Kurumis currently in play. Going to have to play very slow, full control of the Spirit Wells. We can have a look on the replay and see just how Wolves were knocked out. XEM comes in with that Viper ultimate. WFC does get hit into by that full 5-second status. Zeki looking to clean up with the charges. RMB on those halberds. However, Wolves still lost the fight. Wuxian Fine, does get parried. How does this get turned around? Wushin with that zip, able to find the sustain, gets hit by the Tessa V1, takes the full 3-second stagger, but Wolves do not get to capitalize and chase after the zip. Instead, one of them tries to disengage while XM holds off another player. A little bit of miscommunication coming through from Wolves players, it feels like. There's now 1 versus 2. You just get overwhelmed in terms of light stagger.
You're absolutely right, but DRG coming back out of that replay, as you can see, have got no Zai. They've used their Zai up. They are Zyless at this point, so probably need to find themselves a rebirth charm. Heading over to the realm of Yang, XCG. Get himself a 3v off that one. Golden armor, golden fan. Very, very scary. The Hattie just absolutely set up, and now they're going to get a golden staff or spear. What is that? Spear, I think.
Spear.
Yeah.
Hangsword, actually.
Hangsword as well. Wait, what? So they
they have 3.
Are stacked. What the hell?
They have 3, but this is worst news for everyone in the lobby. Jake, Kakaishi has a flamer.
Oh no.
So
yeah, that.
Remember what we were talking about in terms of fire tick and how it puts such a problem for all of these zip compositions to deal with? Flamer puts a very large problem in the form of fire tick for farriers to have to deal with, because when the farrier goes into the mech or whoever takes that V3, if a flamer comes through, it ignores the mech health and goes directly to your health bar instead.
Yeah, that's
so
gonna be...
a lot of the time you're forced to demech early, and you don't get to use that to zone out all of these other players. As it is going to be JJH2 Louis going incredibly low, drops into that V3 to be able to back off, as Flames and Godly have to play aggressive, pushing TE off of the space to provide their farrier the opportunity to look for a reset before the fight can properly begin. And TE back off. They don't want to take a fight against the Justina, who gets extended freeze frames on transformed units.
Well, 13 minutes left in this game, game number 1. It's been an absolute bloodbath as predicted, but there's still actually quite a lot of people left in the game. I say that as WBG are going to be meeting the end of days. JL running down Ajal, doing his best to hold fast and keep himself in this game, but no Fs. There's the parry. There's the finalizer. DXJ. Sorry, it's actually one thing who gets the kill onto that one, taking it down and removing WBG from the lobby. That is now 2 teams eliminated, but honestly, this is going to be a pretty busy end circle with the amount of people left, and looking at where we potentially could be closing up. I think our Transformer comps are not going to be having a great time unless we move out some of this terrain and some of these buildings. This could get a little bit dicey for Monks. Monks absolutely hate being in closed places. They want to be in open spaces where the Monk grabs can have ultimate kind of just line of sight. Find those picks onto the squishy Kurumis, the healers. You really want to be picking off, but for now, so there's gonna be a lot of terrain to work with.
I mean, this final zone is it's XCG's to lose. To be honest, the Hardy variant of the Cannonball is crazy strong, because when that zone properly collapses, Hardy can literally win it alone. You can only be down to your Hardy, and as long as that Hardy ultimate is up, not only can you find the survivability with the cube just getting you aerial and playing out of line outside of all of these other players on the low ground who are just patrolling and looking for easy kills to fall into their lap, quite literally. The knockback and damage on the ultimate, as well as the fact that it has golden frames, means that the Hardy is going to be able to push these players into the corruption tick damage, but also cleave through all of the players that are stacked on top of each other. And Cannonball is one of these compositions that you have to deny getting into the end zone if you're things like the Xiphon composition, because Farrier Mech can referee final zone claps. Yushan can win the heal off situation and make sure that your team is the last team standing to get a better multiplier. And Hardy, like I said, is just that cherry on top to make it even harder for these teams and give that Cannonball that extra edge when it comes to getting a better multiplier and locking down those last hits to confirm the kills and make sure that your points are as extended as possible. And no surprises, the way that XCG have been playing this, they've been playing for the realm of Yangs to secure those immediate loot upgrades, because unlike the Takeda, who relies on getting the golden, the legendary status of that ultimate off of the entire team's loot pool, the second that the Hardy gets a weapon, that is Hardy's ultimate fully scaled up to maximum damage, as we can see how JL took this fight. This is a Tessa composition coming into Realm of Yang, something that we do not often get to see, especially since it's the F2v1. As TXA charges up the RMB on that pulse and cleaves into all of the players, setting the skill rush up as well to put pressure onto the players of XCG. Misses the F2 connection, has to dodge back in and go for that skill rush to put pressure onto XCG. Xiaonan forcing the Ferry into utilizing the boosters on the mech as JL used the Wuchen teleport to reposition and give themselves a much more distanced line of sight for the bow setup. One thing does unfortunately go down in the meantime because of Xiaonan on this Ferry mech, who is absolutely refereeing the entire situation. JL have not been able to fry nor silence that mech, and as a result there is just too much damage. One thing going down means that you don't have the Wuchen wind walls to block the projectile damage coming through, and that Ferry mech is absolutely unstoppable.
Does feel like a lot of the Realm of Yangs are a lot slower than they used to be in the earlier parts of the season, where, you know, even though Zip has a lot of healing, those kind of teams which she encouraged were hyper aggressive with transformers. It's a bit of a kind of like baiting out the health bars, then transforming and kind of slowing down and controlling the finals and controlling the Realm of Yang more than just getting into a brawl and hoping that your Zip out heals their Zip. It's a very different style of Realm of Yang. Right now, GG are on our screens. Actually had a very, very good start to this game. Jumped into 4th place, where they started in 8th at the beginning of the day. So they've done a lot of work to reclaim themselves. But all eyes right now on this team on your screen. XCG, golden armor onto their Pharah. They are just very, very set up. They got a lot of really solid weapons. And like you were saying not a moment ago, their comp has 3 characters who are all incredible at controlling and winning final circles. So it really does feel like it is their game. It could still be a freak thing where they get caught. They could get themselves taken out there. It's still TE with their Monk, and a couple good grabs. You never know, could spell disaster for XCG. TE, as we can see them right now, are just playing away from a lot of the action. They've got that Bane's Breath in their line of sight. There's going to be a Spirit Well spawning up fairly soon, and this actually harks back to something you were talking about earlier, Moxie. Spirit Well, Monk, that is their business. They can jump in, they can grab out, they just have ultimate control. JL are the team inside at the moment, though, of this Spirit Well.
No soldiers, though.
Just shopping around, but yeah, like you said, not particularly set up on that front, but doesn't look like anyone's actually really contesting them on this. So JL quite happily going to grab himself this one. In jumps everyone.
It's straight up a free-for-all. We'll let you capture the Spirit Well and do all of the hard work, and the second that dome breaks, it's everyone all in. And the second that the loot goes, boom, everyone scatters.
All the food into the pig trough. All the pigs come running over to start grabbing it just random. That is very funny. They did grab themselves a couple of decent Soul Jades off there beside JL, so...
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what they are.
That's the problem. TE did not get the armor. JL got the armor. One thing got the armor. XCG slowly starting to slow things down. No surprises there. They do not want to reveal their hand. They do not want to reveal the fact that not only is there a cannonball composition, there's also a Hardy that is going to be in play, because all of the Xiphon and Sand Siphon teams would turn and deny those 3 heroes from making it to Final Zone, understanding that if Final Zone collapses and the Hardy is in play, it's just going to be impossible for them to stop the Hardy from walking away with that MVP. They've already got 9 kills. They don't want to overextend. They don't want to reveal their hand. And so they're going to be playing that macro game and making sure that the kill multiplier makes those 9 kills. And I would not be surprised if they hit something like 16 if the Hardy is able to see it all the way to the end. Is GG. Get that Kurumi F3 to start being a little bit more aggressive, taking some poke pressure. Coming on through is KLA on the low ground. We can see have a legendary fan, but at the moment, neither of these teams wanting to take the full engagement. GG have a better position. KLA probably wanting to usurp it. However, not wanting to put themselves directly into the middle of a Xiphon composition because they do not want to have to overcommit all of these ultimates. TE having to posture up, find themselves a corner, playing out of sight away from all of these players, because you don't get to see the tier of weapon that a player has until they hit you and the damage reveals it. You do get to see the state of the armor. So if these teams understand there is a team who are not only on Transformers but are on full blue armor still, it's going to be an absolute free-for-all as GG almost took their fate against the cards of Naraka, just barely avoiding that Bane's Breath as it drops down. That space now cleared. GG start getting into position to put pressure on some of these teams in the middle.
Yeah, 5 minutes left on the game, though. There is 30 players, 10 teams. We've only lost 2 teams. This is actually a little crazy. I don't think I've seen a final circle like this in a hot minute where most of the lobby are in it, and it is getting tight. Now, having a look at the terrain, I'd be a little bit miffed if I was Ki, just due to the fact there's a lot of trees, there's a lot of hills, a lot of verticality. Your Monk probably going to struggle here. Not going to say they do bad, but, you know, it's definitely going to be a tall ask for hand to really make this work. Now, what does go in TE's favor is just the sheer amount of people. Once you transform, you can throw hands in both directions, and you're probably going to be getting at least near someone, because there's 30 people in a very small circle. Odds are there's going to be people who are going to be able to grab. The problem is are you going to be able to grab? Because you can see there's Wu Shen windmills coming up. There's so many little things that can take you down and deny you from getting those grabs. DRG actually able to get their Zai back, because they did actually lose their Zai earlier on in the game. So Rebirth Charm did pay off for them. And there's some action around the edge of that zone. But GG, they're playing the waiting game. And I'm just going to take us back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the day. GG, I think, are one of the best, if not the best, final circle team in the NBPL right now. They are just so intelligent at reading it. The last 2 bi-weekly finals came down entirely to the fact that GG knew how to manage themselves in these final circles. Right now, them and XCG have got themselves in a pretty comfortable position.
Spirit was on XCG's side, no way!
GG aren't even interested in contesting it. That's what we're looking at here right now. They're just
but XCG are gonna get another lot of legendary armor.
That is right.
They're gonna have full control of this space. The Spirit World means that all of the teams can't poke pressure XCG. You essentially you let the dome shatter and then try and slide in and grab some of the loot, but even that doesn't happen. As T have been spotted out as the blueberries of the lobby, you can see the pressure going on to this Monk F1, having to be invested from hand, and he doesn't even get to use the ultimate to get an extra lease on life. As the Kurumi should be able to stack on top of the body inside that V2 and find the revive, but the chances are you're just going to be bringing him right back up into going down again, as poor LYD is forced into dropping the ultimate. Han this time around will be able to, off of the back of that V2, giving him the armor and that little burst of sustain, hit the ultimate, and now gets into position, start grabbing some of these players as the zone pushes everyone off the high ground onto the low. Problem is there is so much terrain that blocks line of sight. And like you said, that Transformer is going to be pretty peeved in terms of where this final zone came through. Viper ultimate comes out. Does it get cancelled? Nope. TXJ able to go for the full duration of that V1 as Han now has to use the Stomp reposition, goes into the Corruption Tick damage, looks to play away from these other players. However, he's going to be chased down by JDG, who come in with a huge Yodo V for you to take advantage. But my question is, Jake, where's XCG? Kakaishi playing out of sight, not wanting to take the full commitment. GG playing underneath, hoping that no one notices and they can start running this lobby with the activation of that Zai V2. Do they start getting the kills and running away, or is it going to be the cannonball composition that so far no one has spotted as 23 players left? So little space. Tumult ultimate comes through. Wuchen teleport gets called in. A Tessa V1 as well, looking to find a couple of staggers, and the 3-second stun hits XCG. Zhao now is not going to go down, however, until
they're all gone.
And they capitalize. The cannibal composition is falling apart for XCG as OUG sit on the ultimates. You still not having utilized that Cicada ultimate. This Sand Siphon is in prime position to connect all of the Fury shoves onto the players. GG playing it smart. CGS utilizing that F3 not to look for kills, but to reposition into a spot and get a repair onto the cannon, start recharging that ultimate, get the rage, burn the ultimate right back on up as the zone is going to collapse, Jake, and so far. There are still 17 players in the lobby. This is going to go crazily quickly as KLA's QGG now utilizing that Cicada ultimate. Windspite off of the fan as well, pushing all of the players into the corruption, take damage. OUG taking so much damage off of the back of that one as KLA, the Windspite, pushing everybody back. Set up with the Karumi V2 to tank all of the additional pressure that the Cicada now invites. Surely this is when KLA get all of the last hits in, but no, the kills are being divvied up by other players. Windspite pushes everyone back, but Jake, it's not enough to get the last hits. It gets divided by OUG and JL and so many of these other players that are still living, and KLA are not gonna be happy.